Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on December 19, 2016, 1:17 a.m. Got something to read for you here. Some of you may like it. Excuse me. Sources: Intel, Guru, Frank 26. Sources to Baghdad Post. Military operations in Mosul comes to an end. Quote, the military operation in Mosul has come to an end, security sources told the Baghdad Post today. The sources pointed out that the police reshuffle is imminent after Haider al-Abadi visited the operations headquarters earlier. And when I say earlier, I'm saying here on Sunday. Anyway, and we told you from the 18th into the 19th, Abadi would release something or sometime of well, it says sometime, but something of importance with the MR. Today, the security for the MR, IMO, there will be more tomorrow, is what he's saying. News Hound Guru Island G1211. The IMF releases another $618 million loan to Iraq. The article summarizes the meeting that resulted in the IMF releasing the loan installment, even though Iraq did not meet their expectations. And I mentioned this to you on the blog the other day. It's enough to know what Iraq can do and can produce so that they can release the money. And it's saying it right here. The RV is not tied to Iraq getting the loan installments. And then he says, I was right that, number one, the IMF would give them the loan without an RV. And two, that the GOI would pass the budget, but no other laws nor vote in cabinet would leave for a month vacation. That didn't make any sense, but that's what it said. So whether they'll vote for it immediately or wait till they come back. And a lot of people says that before the year is out. Again, I'm not terribly optimistic. You know, when I see bells ringing and the ship actually bumped into the dock and the landing gears come down and hit the runway, then we'll go from there. Intel Guru, admin bill. Yesterday was another quiet day although much is being accomplished in Iraq. In my opinion, Iraq will mysteriously have everything complete when the time is appropriate. It is my understanding that the requirements to meet the agreements necessary for the 20th has been met. And that's what we just talked about there. And that's Mosul being, they got Mosul back. And again, the information is speculative and much of it cannot be proven to be true or so use discernment. And remember, meeting the goal does not necessitate the immediate release of the RV, the GCR. We may still be looking into January. And I remain hopeful for this week, but will not be surprised if 2016 is in the rear view mirror when it arrives. I'm not going to read any more, but everything is staying consistently a little positive about Mosul. And then the 600 and something, $18 million loan to Iraq, that's the second one. And again, that's not based on Iraq having an RV. It's based on what they can do in the future, what their wells can do, and the money that they can bring in. And this is good. because every time they'll make this big long, they're going to get bigger and bigger, and they're going to come quicker and quicker. And when you see that, then look up, because we're going to be happy. I just thought I would bring that to you. And guys, it's got to happen. It's got to happen if Iraq wants to start paying its employees, who's building all these wells and who's building manufacturing companies and plants. They have to pay them in Iraqi dinar. And before they can do that, it has to have a value with it. So that's what we're waiting on right now. And that's what the large companies, and let me say one more, I did mess up. I said 60 oil companies. It's going to be more like maybe 18, maybe 20. And even Israel, Russia, Zion Oil Company, they're owned by Dallas Fort Worth Corporation, drilling in Israel. They too are going there. And the much larger oil companies such as BP, the Crooks, and ExxonMobil, and Dutch, Shell, many others. But they're in there to go in and bring billions, because when they start drilling, they don't want to stop. They want to go until they got enough wells so that when they get to a certain number, this one's pumping. That's like building a house. Back when I used to build houses, I built 44 in one place for a friend of mine. And prior to that, I developed land for 12 and then across the street for 8 more, and then went to develop land for 16 more, and that didn't mature because Obama pulled the plug. But I started a house once I got the first one going. Then every 18 days I started one, and that meant every 18 days I finished one. So this is what the oil wells, the oil companies want to do. Every so many days when they start drilling, when they hit pumping time, then they'll time it between from well to well. They'll know when that pump time starts coming up. And when they hit, boom, breaks the surface, goes up about 100 feet, and there's a roar and there's money. It's money. It's like money falling to the ground. So guys, pray about it. Pray hard. Pray like we did for Trump. Well, not quite that hard, because we don't want to be greedy. We just want to be rich. Jody Wolf, Expoz.